5 minutes here. And when we get to the national anthem, there'll be a decision made whether he actually flies off with the colors or just stays standing.
Well, fingers crossed, we'll see the balloon get airborne.
Yep. It does feel like it's trying to. It does feel like it's trying to calm down a little bit here. All right, we just got the word. Ron has decided that he will stay.
All right, so what's going on? Dan the Glassman here. It is 5:55 a.m. and we would actually be out on the field with Polar Dawn, with Rick Jones, our pilot, getting ready and prepared to be out there on the field. At this point in time, it's an hour in, so about 7 o'clock on the show. 7 a.m. is kind of what we're seeing here. Because they start the morning show. Art Lloyd Jr. and Glenn Moyer start the show at 6. So I've been watching it for 57 minutes and 19 seconds here at this point. Reading some comments here. Kevin Hot Air Balloon is on here. Come on in to Olive Garden and get your free breadstick. All right, so you get a free breadstick. So Kevin Hot Air Balloon sent you. Serato 168 says you won't miss anything. Don't worry. Malia J, I'm on the bus to the field right now. Kevin Osborne, he knows some information. The problem we run into flying in the wind from the park is the power lines. It's all tight landing spots. Yeah, because Albuquerque has developed out quite a bit. We don't want to hit the lines. It's deadly. That's right. Let's see some more. So some people are saying that it's not going to happen. I really hope the wind calm down once the sun comes up. We will see. And that's right. We will see, because the sun pushes a lot of those clouds out of the way. And a lot of people don't understand, but they don't wake up before the sun comes up usually. They're not up at sunrise. A lot of people don't know that when the sun rises, that warm air starts to push that cold air that's way up in the higher levels of the atmosphere. That is some extremely cold air compared to what's on ground level. The earth is warming the ground level winds, but space has those air, the highest levels of air in the atmosphere, pretty close to freezing, if not more. So when the sun comes up, you will feel a breeze. You will feel that cold air getting pushed from high above as that warm air moves and displaces it. Then you start feeling that breeze right before the sunrise, and it gets colder because that cold air is getting pushed down basically from as close to space as possible to the ground level of the earth. Then when the sun is up, the earth, the warmth of the earth as well as the warmth of the sun heat up that air in between it all. So that's why you feel this breeze in the morning. A lot of people are like, oh, it's too windy. It's too windy. They're not up this early in the morning all the time to realize it's always that breezy. Every morning when the sun comes up, there's usually some sort of a breeze or winds that kick in, and it gets colder. Now, yesterday was the coldest it was ever on that field. I felt it in my toes. I felt it in my fingers. I kept my fingers in my gloves and in my pockets pretty much the whole time. Now, during this time, so like I said, this is about up until about 7 o'clock where they do the national anthem. I was actually sitting down, eating some breakfast, getting nice and warm, having some really good green chili chicken stew in the morning. Thank you to the Pilot Hospitality tent there, and giving us all the foods throughout the week. Thank you guys so much. But that green chili chicken stew yesterday, that was so delicious, and it kept me warm. So then I called in about 7 o'clock, which is about now, to see, hey, do you guys need me? And they said, yep, get on over here. So what happened is You know, everyone's waiting on the winds. Dawn Patrol was grounded. We were canceled. The Dawn Patrol show was canceled. That doesn't mean the Dawn Patrol balloons don't inflate and fly. That just means we have to wait for the first waves of the mass ascension to take off and fly before us, so then we can then take off from that same square. Usually we fly first from M row, which is right in front of the main stage, which is pretty much right in front of I think they're right here. This is like right in front of the main stage here. I don't know if they're in front of it or where. I think this, no, I'm not sure where the stage is, but somewhere over here, I think is where the stage is. Maybe over here, unless this is it, or unless they're in front of it right here blocking it. And so, and yeah, you guys can't see the screen very well. I don't have this fully blown up because I kind of wanted to read the comments here as we were going to watch through it. But yeah, I think somewhere around in this area here is where the main stage is. I think it's just behind right here. I think this is the main stage. You just can't tell because that's the Xfinity booth right there, which is to the, yep, that is for sure. And then these are the blue tents, and then somewhere over here is where KLB4 was set up, and KLB4 and those monitors. So at this time in the morning, I would actually be walking over to the field and
Stay static and not actually lift off this morning. But again, we will have our national.
the commentators here are saying that the balloons are possibly going to just stand static and not lift off. But we eventually got the green flag, guys. So the national anthem hits, and it's really, really cool. Here, let me see if I can actually get to the national anthem. Or maybe we can
You don't want to unfabric out a variometer for how fast are you going and an altimeter. What altitude?
He's talking about the different equipment that you need.
Many pilots will add things like GPS.
And you can see the wind. See how the winds are blowing that balloon quite a bit, but it's still standing. It's not too dangerous to fly in these sort of winds. We have flown in these winds before. My pilot actually reminded me that, yes, I have flown in these winds before. I'm like, aren't they a little bit too strong today? He's like, nope, we have done this before. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, if you say so, then I believe you. So those are the propane tanks there. Lots of different equipment within the gondola or the basket. You can see the regulators on top of the tanks and stuff like that, which is really, really cool. And I don't know if this feed's going to get cut because this is a Balloon Fiesta Live recap here. And it is sponsored by the Fiesta. You know, I've done some promos on their Facebook feed or page. They actually banned me for life from ever posting and commenting on the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta Facebook page. That's sad because I'm such a balloonatic. I'm such a balloon enthusiast, and I would love to bring forth more positive to this event and actually let people know what's really going on behind the scenes and all kinds of stuff. But it's sad, you know, because I was trying to just push out my glass hot air balloons, and because I wasn't an official merchandise through them, they cut me off on Facebook. I don't know who's running that. Maybe you guys can change that for me. It would be really good. Maybe people can request that glass balloons are featured in the International Balloon Fiesta. Maybe Balloon Fiesta can actually hire me to come in on Children's Day, on Kids Day next year, which is a Thursday. And then maybe they can actually hire me to do live demonstrations where I can give away free glass balloons to, like, you know, the first 50 or 100 individuals who come in, you know. So we are about to do the national anthem right here, which it's done by the UNM choir here. So let's take a listen. Maybe you'll see me crossing the field. Maybe you'll see me crossing right here. Burners on, burners on. All right, you guys. So at this point in time, let me see if I can see our balloon out there at all, because we would possibly have those burners out. No, that's more in the south end of the field where the commentator booth is. Sponsor tents. That's where Art Lloyd Jr. and Glenn Moyer are stationed there.
Yep, they're confirming on the radio that the winds are starting to trend down. So
yeah, we do get a green flag, you guys. That's the cool thing, is everyone here is on the comments like, oh no, it's not gonna happen. See those flags? Those flags are blowing way too fast. But in reality, they're actually doable. These winds are actually doable, guys. So, but yeah, you can see, like, that's the north end of the park right there, and you can see them winds are blowing real strong to the south. They said that there was a wind drainage, which means that the winds are just getting pushed down from the north to the south.
Hoping and still planning to attempt to get a launch off this morning. So we would attempt to do that before we would set other balloons up that may want to static, although as Glenn was explaining just a few minutes ago, the breezes are still such that it's not the best to be standing your balloon up. As we watch the KKOB balloon, you can see
yeah, so you can see how that wind is pushing in the face of that. It is really, really hard to keep it inflated. It is very dangerous when it sways in the wind like this.
If you're going to stand your balloon up at a situation like that, and best to kind of get it hot and get it up and go fly.
Absolutely. Much
Yeah.
better, much easier to launch and fly in winds than to tether or do a static display. As
Yes.
you're talking about the wind,
So they're talking about the winds and how it's a lot easier to basically to stand, or basically easier to just take off and fly. You know, you just fill up and fly, because as soon as you're up in the air, the balloon becomes one with the winds. You know, you become part of the turbulence. You don't feel the winds. So the balloon just gets carried away. It's like, you know, it's I don't know, like when you catch a whirlwind, you see the leaves just flying, and they become one with the wind. So that's what happens with the balloons. Once you take off, you become one with the wind. You don't feel the breeze up there in your face. You know, people are like, oh man, it's got to be so windy up there. And it's like, actually, you don't feel it, because you are the wind. You become one with the wind. The wind carries you away. But trying to hold it in place like this, you can see how the winds are just trying to push it. But then the weight of it, I mean, it's so massive that the balloon sways. So now it's like swaying to the wind, but then the winds are pushing it more. And so there's this huge thing where you can see the balloon will flatten on this one side right here. You see that it's flattening? And sometimes when you're lifting it up, it'll flatten the mouth right there. And what happened yesterday is the Freedom Racer balloon right next to us. It was like a green and white and black balloon. Freedom is the name of it. Their balloon actually caught fire due to the winds trying to put up the balloon in the wind. And I feel bad for them, because that's a huge repair. That's a very expensive repair. And our pilot noticed that it might have also been on the load line, which is basically a seam that holds all the balloons together and everything. So, and here is the team. What are they called? Cottywomple. So you guys want to listen to this real quick? I don't know if I'm allowed to or not, because this is their interview.
I want to talk to Katie, because Katie is the crew chief, and she has the most awesome.
Okay, so on our team we have Colleen Perry, who's our crew chief for Polar Dawn, and you can find us on Facebook / or on the Facebook groups, and then Polar Dawn Balloon. So if you want to follow our adventures and things like that, you know, our crew chief basically is a person who puts all the crew together and takes the instruction from the pilot and then relays it back. So these guys got the interview yesterday. You know, they're talking about the different things. I really just want to kind of see what's happening. And there is one interview that I was there live, and I would like to watch that one. So that's the Crown Line. Oh, actually, hold on. That's Freedom right there. That's Freedom. That balloon, I believe, unless I don't know. Cotty Wample. I mean, these guys are close to us. Well, I don't think they were that close to us, are they? I mean, that's not, no. I think we're just down the way from these guys, like up there somewhere. But look, they got the lights out. We started out putting those lights out, and I guess they started following suit. Like, all right, these guys know what they're doing. Those lights work really well when it's before the sun comes out. You know, the Christmas lights. You know, basically like the little, I don't know if you can see those little blue lights flashing over there in the corner up there. So we got these like blue lights. They're basically just solar powered lights, Christmas lights that we run from from basically like our chase van, and we block people off away from the basket and away from the mouth of the balloon, because that's where the fire is going to be and everything. We want to keep the crowd back, so it's basically crowd control. And then we have the orange cones out, which they basically copied our setup. They have the cones and lights now. That's pretty cool though. And this year now we have lasers. We've added lasers to our dance party.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So, well, yeah, let's just try to fast forward a little bit. I want to see if we can actually capture any of what happened with that balloon. You know, because we did get a green flag eventually, and I want to capture that too. All right, so let me see. So this is Spider Pig's van right there next to Cotty Wample, I think. Where are we? We're not in this frame at all. So, but yeah, it's so fun to be able to experience Balloon Fiesta in person. But then, yeah, I do the same thing that he was saying, is then you get to go home and watch the show afterward. So this is filming south right there towards the Albuquerque Balloon Museum. You can see the glass in the back, and those crowds are huge. These guys came out on the perfect day. It was, you know, very iffy. People were worried. You know, it had rained hard on Saturday, rained hard on Friday, really hard on Friday. There was a lot of issues. The balloons were soaked. A lot of individuals put their balloons up, even though they could see the storm coming. They took that risk. They took that chance, knowing what they might get themselves into. And it was a pretty hairy situation there. All right, let's keep on. So this is them up north, or sorry, south of the field. Just going to try to just...
doing this on my own. What I had was Linda Watson, our spotter, who would be up here to help me spot.
Just trying to fast forward through this to get to when we actually launch, when we get that green flag, because it's so cool to hear the crowd. When you get that green flag, the crowd goes wild. It's like you just won the Super Bowl or something. All right, so we're an hour and 17 minutes in right now. So at this point, it would be about 7:20. I think I was back at this point with our crew. I was done with breakfast at that time and finally walked, which I had to walk all the way. Oh, there's that balloon crew. I forget what they're called, with that blue and pink But that's a balloon I'd like to replicate in glass. So here, I'm going to turn their commentary down a little bit to where I can hear it, but you guys may not be able to. All right, so here's the team. You can see how they set it up here. They got the all the lines that are hooked up to the carabiners here, and then they just hook the carabiners directly to the basket. Now, this has to be done in a very specific way so the cables aren't, or your balloon's not going to fly properly. So you need to make sure that you have a crew member on deck who knows what they're doing. So, and there's the main stage, and you can see there is no flag there, you guys. There's no flag behind that. So I think it's about, the green light's about to go up. Let's see. Because they brought the flag down, so that's why they're focused right there. There it goes. There it goes. You see it? There goes the green flag coming up right here. Watch. When the crowd hears it, here, I'll turn it up.
Person that was in our tour group got home, developed all that film, and then put them into albums, and I charged a fee for the album, and that's kind of how I paid my way over on the trip. But the funny part was, going through the airport, I had gone to a thrift store and bought, a second or third hand old beat up suitcase, and I had it loaded with nothing but Kodak film. There must have been 100 rolls of 36 exposure film in there. I'm going through the airport. In those days, I'm not sure if there were games or not, but there was this, oh no, don't x-ray my film, because it'll hurt the film. So I would have them hand inspect, open the suitcase, and then they'd be confronted with this suitcase full of all these rolls of film, and we could see eyes roll, amongst the prior to all the security we have at airports these days, but still, you could see the people at the gates and the security.
I guess you really weren't going to be able to hear them because Glenn Moyer is just talking. So they didn't capture the crowd when the green flag. I haven't even said green flag, or maybe he said it real quick. There's the green flag, and he just kept on talking like it's no big deal. What's going on? What's up? Something's up. Oh, pie ball.
Yeah, there were no Americans there.
Maybe they're watching the pilot indicator balloon, the pie ball.
Great memories. One of my first trips overseas to France.
Dude, are you gonna mention the green flag yet?
As you were telling us that story, we watched the green flag go up. There it is. Yeah, the scissor lift, one of our cameras, right next to the main street stage. There he is waving at us. And we've also been watching Sister McLean.
Is that the old Balloon Meister's tower? Remember we heard George Hahn saying the other day that when he was Balloon Meister,
They get the best view right up there, man, on that scissor lift. That's high though. Holy.
Same one, but that's exactly what he had. Is something like that.
All right, so you see them all hooking up everything, making sure everything's hooked up. Now those are the tie-off ropes that go to the you anchor them to your vehicle. So that's what holds, that's what tethers the balloon. And this balloon here, I noticed they actually have like a reflective material right there, like Mylar or something, which I find interesting to protect the fabric, I guess, so he can maybe bring the flame down closer to the bottom without heating up the top of the balloon. Okay, now the green one, you see that green one right there? That's a Rainbow Rider balloon. That's the new red and green Albuquerque balloon. On one side it's green, the other side it's red. So when it stands up, you will be able to see, and we're just right next to them. Our van is actually right here. So you'll see right behind them will be the racer balloon that goes up, which will be right behind them here, and we will then start inflating just next to them. At this point in time, I'm standing somewhere in the middle of the field right there. So let's fast forward through a little bit more. So you can see how big those balloons get. So those are the Rainbow Rider balloons right there, inflating.
sign of healthy.
And here, I'm going to turn the commentary down just so it's not so distracting. We're just going to keep fast forwarding every 5 seconds or so. So, yeah, so you can see the green balloon right there as it lifts up. Watch. It's one of my favorite balloons, my new favorite balloons that just came to the Balloon Fiesta this year. I think it's a new balloon. All right, there's a zebra there speaking with the pilots and crew or whoever, maybe a couple different pilots, figuring out what's going on. Oh, she likes that guy. You can tell. Oh, hopefully he's not married. Hopefully she's not married. Oh, capturing that on tape. Or they got caught by the world right there. That's funny. All right. They got this dog balloon going up here. I forget what he's called, but I collected the card. Fast forward. We'll get into a couple other balloons. But I want you to see that red and green balloon. And then I really hope these cameras are on the balloon that's next to us. We were right next to that balloon. I remember that balloon was going up in front of us. So I think our chase van is somewhere on the corner over here. We had to wait for the first ascension of balloons to go up. And then we were gonna set up. So here's that balloon. As soon as they take off, I think the balloon next to us, which they're the ones who burnt their balloon, the mouth of their balloon. But yeah, check that out. The green, Albuquerque green, it's going to turn to red, which represents the red or the green chili. So it's red chili, green chili. Which do you prefer? Or do you like a little of both? Have a little Christmas. Yeah, so these balloons are about to stand up. They're getting close. They got to still inflate for a minute. So we'll fast forward some. And there's I believe the British balloon. All right. And this individual, I don't know where he's filming from. He's somewhere up in the front, by the front stage, I believe. Oh, there you go. All the crew right there. Oh, One Hot Minute. Or Hot Minute. That's that. Yeah, they've been actually featured all week pretty much, I noticed. I think the camera crews and the interviewers, they might have favorites. But there's the red. Visit Albuquerque. Red chili or green. Red or green right there. All right, so let's fast forward. Let's see if we can get that other balloon. So now that they're standing, oh, look at that. There it is on side by side. You got the red chili, the green chili. Isn't that so awesome, guys? I love that balloon. All right. So now that those balloons are up, I think this next balloon that'll stand up will be oh, look, they're doing yoga. We normally do some yoga, and we do our disco dance party at 5 a.m. Oh, what is that? That's the warm your arm up to do a toss. They're going to do the competition toss. Is that what that is? Wind up the tossing arm. What kind of yoga is this? Cowboys in motion. That's what their balloon should be called. Cowboys in motion. Hot minute right there. All right. Well, at least they like to have fun like we do. Polar Dawn. We're always being silly like that, guys. It's all about the fun, you know. It's a spectator sport. This thing here, a sport, hobby, event, whatever you'd like to call it. So, and I'm sorry you guys are getting a tiny screen here because I'm trying not to get any copyright infringements, you know, so I'm making it as small as I can. I don't want those words or anything to be real legible. I don't want Google algorithms or YouTube algorithms to figure out what I'm doing here. So I'm just trying to fast forward through it and speak over their voice clips as well. There's my friend balloon right there, Alfred Salazar, who flies the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center. And it's pretty interesting on the comments in this video. There's an individual, I believe a Tewa princess, tribal princess, who was saying that all these white people need to get off of their native lands. And I'm getting really tired of this, because the earth is all of our native land. And when they want to keep on claiming it as theirs and not realizing that nothing is ours, it all belongs to Creator. All Wakan. It's not yours. Quit claiming it. So they want to say that the Balloon Fiesta does nothing for their tribes here in New Mexico. But right there is the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center balloon. How much money is being made? How much advertising? How many people go and visit the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center, which funds so much of their pueblos? So I'm really tired of hearing this segregation continuing. We need to unite, not divide. So you natives there who want to continue to divide us, you need to stop that stuff. Sorry. It just upsets me. So that comment below, you can read it. Tewa princess, huh? You're not doing no good for all of mankind by keeping us segregated in that way. Learn you're wrong. Do better. Do gooder. Do gooder. Aho. So yeah, these balloons flew, guys. Everyone thinking we're not gonna fly, and bam, look what's up in the air right there. Up and away in my little hot air balloon. I know it's not a red balloon, but whatever. All right, so we are now looking for the racer, Freedom. That's what I'm really looking for, because I want to see. We're now only halfway through this video here. Oh, there's a cool little shot. That'd be a nice shot to just be chilling under the tree watching the balloon. That's a good spot, wherever they were. Hold on, let me rewind that. I want to see where in okay, so they're to the south. Oh, they're in that grassy field. I guess there's a tree at the far corner of the field. I didn't know that. We'll have to go try to find that area. Maybe we'll chill there one year. Get under the tree. Look at that. I'd like that. You get a little shade in the day, chilling in the trees. And sorry about that little rant there for a moment, but things like that just really irk me, when we're trying to have unification, we don't want to have this division, because that's why wars occur. We need to come to an understanding together, try to find sort of middle ground. If we don't see eye to eye, at least we can respect each other, not be so rude. And this does so much for our state, bringing the International Balloon Fiesta. I mean, this is a huge event that does so much for our state, for our economy, and it does a lot for the tribes as well, And I also had to remind the Tewa princess that Santa Ana Pueblo just brought in Tesla. Tesla's here to stay for a while, I bet. And Santa Ana also has a lot of things going on, like the casino. They make a lot of money from the casino and all of the people who come in. They're very far advanced as far as their water purification systems, which that's a industrial revolution system that came from probably the white man. And that, it's cleaning the water. I mean, there's a lot that happens for the natives here through the economics that are created through events like this, such as this and any other events, I mean, even the Gathering of Nations powwow. is a huge event. But even some natives don't like it or respect it because it's um, not run by their tribe or something. I'm not sure. But it's too bad that we have those conflicts of interest when we're simply just trying to enjoy life and have fun here. When do you get to fly ever up and away in a hot air balloon? Like experience life. Imagine if you could do some sort of a prayer from a balloon, over all the land from up there to bless the waters, to pray for the water as you fly over the river. How many times have I done that? You know, Mini Wachoni, water is life. Speaking of the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center right there. Yeah, I guess that is over there off to the side. That's interesting. I didn't know there were so many trees right there by the golf course. All right. So I'm still looking for that racer balloon. But yeah, that's my friend's balloon right there. That's Alfred Salazar flying the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center balloon. I think he just flies for them. He just pilots for them. I believe that the center actually owns the balloon. Oh, that's a beautiful colored balloon. Look at that. That's amazing. All right, so let's look for this racer balloon. That's what I'm really looking for. I think the sun's about to come up here. I don't know what time it is officially. Let me see. Right now, we're looking at 6:30. So we would have been up in the air for Dawn Patrol at this point if we went today. This would have been day 10 of Balloon Fiesta. Well, some say day 11 because a lot of crews, I wasn't there, but our crew was out on Friday, which is known as day 0. So we got to count day 0. So it's actually a 10-day event for crews and pilots. But for the Balloon Fiesta, the official Balloon Fiesta, it's a 9-day event from the 1st through the 9th. But then today, there are individuals who will go to Gallup and they will fly in Gallup today. So they may actually be filling up some balloons right now, take to the skies in Gallup, New Mexico. So if you want to get out there, you don't have enough time. You should have left already. What a beautiful shot right there. That is nice. They got a reflection. It looks like the sun's coming through from the ground right there. That's pretty awesome. But it's a reflection of the sun coming off a window, a mirror. That's really cool. All right. Okay, is this Freedom? I don't know if that was Freedom. Hold on. No, that's a lot closer. That's over there. So I think we started to inflate pretty soon at this point. There's a New Mexico balloon, the Zia. Colorado. What I love about this international balloon fiesta is that it brings so many people together from all over the world. And there is no conflict of interest because everyone is coming together to have fun and to create memories together and to share this spectacle to the world. I mean, this isn't just for Albuquerque. This isn't just for New Mexico. I mean, this is for the world. This is the International Balloon Fiesta. And it is an amazing event to be involved with, to be a part of, and to be in unison with. And it's beautiful. I don't know how anyone could not enjoy balloons like this many balloons taking to the skies. I don't understand how anyone, especially a princess, would find this offensive. How beautiful is this to see? Oh, there's the Freedom balloon right there. Okay, so we're going to keep an eye on Freedom balloon right there. So at this point in time, you got Tim Taylor's balloon, the red, white, and balloon balloon right there. And he's a pro. He knows what he's doing. He flies with Dawn Patrol. Freedom Balloon's not part of Dawn Patrol, but we're still here in Dawn Patrol row. We're in M row right there. And that Freedom Balloon, you know, when I got there, I was like, oh, they're all inflating right here next to us. Our balloon's still down. So at this point in time, it would be, I think that the show started at 6 a.m., which means it would be close to like 8 o'clock at this point. Oh, I thought that was ours for a second. Is that, who is that? I'm not sure. I was like, we're not up yet. There's a pirate balloon right there. You can tell with their flag. And then here's another interview. I'm not sure exactly who he flies with, but I want to just see the Freedom Balloon and see if anyone captured that or what happened. Because they were featured on the news the night before. So I'm wondering if there was any kind of story on them, if they were being filmed. Oh, there's the, what is it called? Oh, I don't remember. It's the main, it's got the Sid Cutter silhouette on top. It's the 50th anniversary of the Balloon Fiesta. I can't remember what it's called. It's got all 13 of the original balloons patchworked, basically appliqued onto, or they used to applique. Now they actually sew them on and bed them in. Okay, here we go. Here's Freedom Balloon, and our balloon is now being inflated right next to him, right there. So you can see the Freedom Balloon and next to right there. And then, yeah, you can see the, well, maybe you guys can't see, but just rewatch the broadcast here. I'll put this broadcast in my video links below, in the description below. There's a Sid Cutter silhouette right there of him flying from outside of a balloon basket, flying over the crowd and waving high as he's holding on to the balloon cables. And they that's an iconic symbol that was turned into a sculpture, a statue that sits outside of the Sid Cutter Pavilion there, which I was gifted. I don't know if you can see that, guys. I was gifted the actual T-shirt that was on the Sid Cutter statue. I was just at the right place at the right time and asked if they were gonna throw it away, and she was like, "Well, it's all tore up. I think so. If you want it, you can have it." It's like, I would love it. Like, really? Like, oh my gosh, I'd be honored to keep that T-shirt that was on the Sid Cutter statue all week during the 50-year anniversary. I mean, that's an iconic piece of history right there. I have a piece of history sitting right here. All right, there's our balloon. That's Polar Dawn, guys. Beautiful yellow, orange, and blue. It's bright. It's an ultralight balloon. Ah, I wonder if that's when he burnt his. So right there, when the mouthpiece is open, I don't know if I rewound it or not. All right, so at this point, the winds are blowing. You see how the wind is blowing into his balloon? At some point, I think this part collapsed, and it just, he hit it. He hit the burner at the wrong time, or something happened. I'm not sure. Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know if he wasn't in a proper position or what. You can see how our balloon, the wind is coming in this direction. Maybe his balloon should have been laying in this direction, but he had it this way. We had ours this way, so they could filled together. I don't know if filling them up side by side had anything to do with that accident or not, or if he just wasn't paying attention. I mean, if you can see when the winds come in, and you definitely don't want to burn your own balloon. You know, if it starts collapsing and caving in, you don't hit the burner valve at that point in time. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if he got distracted. The night before, they were interviewed, and it looks like that they are a family team, and they have children on their team, on their crew. And I don't know if maybe that was part of the reason too, is not having an older, experienced crew on deck. There's Arabelle, the cow, the Creamland dairy cow, one of the crowd favorites. That one, I was actually sitting across from the Creamland guy during this morning. So before he inflated, him and I were sitting across from each other eating breakfast and talking about the craziness of them getting rained on and how huge and heavy that cow envelope got, and how they had to like try to dry it out before they left the field and then take it to where were they at? I'm trying to remember specifically where they were. They were somewhere where several other special shaped balloons fit. I don't know if they were in UNM. I heard Tingley was also placed. I don't think they were in Tingley. That might have been the monster balloon. There were several places that hosted the balloons and allowed them to dry off, which was really amazing. And to hear those stories is just ridiculous. This guy, this bear here, he's a really cute bear. They are they from Taiwan? I believe they might be from Taiwan. But it's a really cute bear. I like it. Good design. All right, so man, let's get back to us. I want to see what happens, because at some point, both of our balloons are up. We're about to stand up, and the Freedom balloon just deflates and goes down. Okay, there. At that point, our balloon's standing up. His balloon went down. You can see in the bottom corner right here. Our balloon's standing. His balloon's not up. So at that point in time, he burnt his balloon. It's too bad. I wanted to kind of see like if they caught it or what had happened, So we're standing up. We're next to Tim Taylor, the red, the Stars and Stripes balloon there. You can see the Viking balloon there. That team is pretty fun. They got a whole bunch of, they just like dress up as Vikings and stuff. See, it's all just a lot of fun, We should wear polar bear outfits, Maybe one year I'll get me a polar bear hat for Polar Dawn. I'm gonna find me a polar bear hoodie, and we're gonna balloon it out. We're gonna have we'll make me look like the Coca-Cola bear, but with the balloon vest on. we'll fill it up full of pins. That might be fun. That's a beautiful printed balloon of some sea life. Water's life. Every drop counts. Mini Wachoni. Agua es vida. El Inae. All right. So I guess we're not going to see what happened with that balloon. There's the cow's, Arabelle's paw or hoof, I guess, foot. Balloon. Oh, there goes. So there we go, lifting off right there. So there we go, rising up out of the camera shot. So Polar Dawn takes to the skies with a first-time flyer. So yesterday we had a crew member who we were working with all week. She was out all week volunteering, and we got all of the main crew members up, and we fortunately had one more day, and she was the only person who hadn't flown on our crew that was with us pretty much every day all week. So it was just such a huge. Hear the story on how she had to go through surgery couple years ago, and there's no way that she would have been able to even have gotten into the balloon physically under her conditions and her health and things like that. That it was just a huge blessing. So there she is, all the way up in the top corner, or top of the screen right there, floating away in polar dawn. And what's amazing is, I don't know how high normally you go, but they went up really high. I'm not even gonna say how high because I don't know if like what the standards are. Are you allowed to go that high? It wasn't like needing oxygen levels high, but we're already a mile high, and then you go extremely higher, and that was a really awesome flight. So I'm pretty much done because I was hoping, oh, there's Tim Taylor taking off. So he took off next to us. Oh, and there's a Freedom balloon right there. You can see it in the corner. It's laid down. And do you see people scrambling? What's going on? Are they looking at the burn? I don't know if they go in on a close-up or not. Of course, they're going to get the Creamland cow Arabelle. All right. Oh, this individual, Peggy, she apparently won an award for being so involved in helping out with people flying, with getting their pilot's license and permitting or things like that. I don't know. She was just a huge coordinator, and she was honored at the award ceremony the other day, which is really awesome. There's our friend's balloon right there, Infinitude. The really awesome fractal balloon there. Looks like Buddha sitting in the middle. That's actually the Mandelbrot series. The Mandelbrot fractal. Printed. It's a printed balloon. That might also be hand sewn. So it could be an experimental balloon as well. So it might be a lightweight balloon as well, and possibly able to be flown with less restrictions, things like that. I know that his child is learning how to fly now, and not the youngest pilot in the world, but one of the youngest, or soon to be. We're just going to keep scrolling through here, guys. Just trying to get some shots and seeing if we can see what happened with the Freedom Racer balloon. And we're up in the air. We took to the sky. There wasn't any real focus on us today, this morning. The other morning, though, they featured us on the news for a little bit. They had some good close-up shots. Look, he's barely holding it. It looks like he's holding a RC, an RC balloon tether. He's like just barely hanging on to it. Like, that's crazy. In those winds, I would think you'd want to hold it pretty taut. Like, not hold it down, but that was interesting. All right, so this is a quick fast forward through the entire Balloon Fiesta, 3 hours and 47 minutes of it. So there's the Fiesta Gold. I think it's what it's called, is that balloon. You know, I should have gone over there to that balloon more often, walking around with my 13 balloons. I didn't think about that till now. I was just thinking how last year it went up and it was in that kind of same spot. I really should have gone over there more often and walked around. But at this point in time, we're in the van. We're getting ready to drive out the field. We have to maneuver through these huge crowds. You know, we have to do crowd control and get people to move to the side as we have our van drive through. You know, you can see these guys are driving through right now, slowly driving through. It is a feat to get through those crowds, but we do it. We manage, and you know, I try to do it as politely and kindly as possible. You know, van coming through, guys. Can you please move to the side? One either to the left or to the right, coming through. You know, I look out for the people who have wheelchairs or set up in chairs already, and we try to go around them, either in front of them or behind them, you know, to make sure that they don't have to move. But if they are in the way, and we know, we might have to ask them politely to get up. But it's really hard to navigate through these crowds and get our chase vehicle out on the road so then we can start chasing and bring the balloon back in. So if you're just joining us now, I'm just doing a recap. I'm Dan the Glassman. This is the Glassman's World. And wanted to try to capture the balloon that went up next to us that burnt its envelope yesterday. There was an accident right next to us with the Freedom balloon. They were featured the night before on the news, and it was you know, they were bummed that they got rained on. They were praying for one more good day, and yeah, I don't know. They're gonna take off. Are they still tethered? There's okay. I was like, when are you gonna release? Yeah, I was like, whoa, they're gonna just tether their balloon up in the air off the off the car. Yeah, so it actually turned out to be an incredible day, last day of Balloon Fiesta. The reason why is because if you look up here, you can see the chemtrails, these aerosol lines that are left by the airplanes, and those break up. They're basically cloud busters. And I don't know if they sprayed very often this week. I wasn't really seeing them up in the sky as much as we normally do. So I think they were actually trying to allow the rains to come in, but then they came through, and you can see we had a really good day, clear day. Those clouds, the storm just broke up nicely. So this is just a quick recap, just to talk about what happened on the last day. And you know, I'm just a little saddened that we can't be out there on the field today. You know, it's been 9 days, 10 days of balloon action every day, every morning, waking up at like, you know, 2:30 sometimes, 2:45, 3 a.m. To get picked up by my ride at like 3:40, between 3:40, 3:45 or so. And on the first day, I actually rode my bike to meet my ride at the mall at the Windrock Center, or Windrock. I don't know what you call that place now. It's not really a mall. And because it was just right off the freeway. And that worked out really well. It took me a good 20-minute bike ride to the spot, which was, you know, just a 5-minute drive. And so we figured out that it was just easier for my ride to come and get me instead of me riding and then loading up the bike and getting it to fit in. Then we lose the space of the vehicle if we need to drive it into the field, like all kinds of stuff. It was interesting. All right, well, we're gonna fast forward through some more. I don't know if we're gonna get the a shot of that balloon. There's the Ferris wheel, Balloon Fiesta Ferris wheel. I got stuck in the children's tent yesterday, or not yesterday, the day before, on Saturday. I stayed on the field and just hung out. I think I actually didn't mean to stay on the field. I just lost track of the van while I was filming and talking to a lot of people from all over the world. They're asking me all these questions once they knew that I was a crew member and I had so much information to tell them about the balloon, how it works, when we fly, when we don't fly, what we look for in the weather conditions, the box patterns, how we're able to kind of navigate with directions using different thermals, different layers of the wind, whether or not they're going north, south, east, or west. You can figure out by watching the other balloons and being like, okay, you see how high that balloon is and which direction it's going. Now watch when it rises. Now watch it change direction. And if you pay attention to those things, then you can really learn how to fly a balloon. So the other day that I was in the kids center because I got left behind talking to these individuals and giving them information. That's a beautiful shot right there, that colorful balloon. And they have this flight simulator in the kids booth. And this thing is so cool. It's a touch screen. It's kind of like it'd be the coolest thing to have for a coffee table. And you just like sit there and sit around and all day you just like flying. And you have like, I think 3 minutes or 4 minutes to try to navigate a balloon using all the directions and then being able to get the toss the beanbag onto the field. So it's really, really fun. I was hooked on it since, I don't know, a few years ago. So every once in a while I'll go over there and just hang out. And that morning, it was so early still. And the crowds were just, worried about their breakfast burritos and shopping and stuff. They didn't get to the far end yet. So that tent was pretty empty. And I had the freedom to just play as long as I wanted for like 2 hours straight. Never once ever hitting that X. Getting close, but never. But it's really hard, that game. And the individual who was running it, he said that throughout the whole entire week of him being there and playing, he only hit the X once. So, yeah, it takes some. Okay, so see how he's got the burner and it's pointed upward? At some point in time when that Freedom Racer was inflating like that, they burnt so maybe the person holding the cable, see how that kid or that guy was holding up the cables there? I said kid because he looks young. And so that gentleman, he was holding the cable up high above his head. Maybe that team, the Freedom team, had their 12-year-old and younger holding the mouth open, and maybe they weren't able to reach high enough with those winds, that wind condition, and maybe the winds flapped the mouth of the balloon down as the burner was going. And I don't know if that burner hit the outside or the inside or what happened, but it sounded like it was a pretty bad situation. Pretty bad burn hole, not a situation, just a bad burn hole and a bad, huge, expensive repair. That's floating away, sis. Beautiful water in the desert balloon. They were interviewed on the news that morning that they flew, yesterday morning, which was the last day, Sunday. And I got to hear she's a cancer survivor. They fly the balloon as a way of inspiring others to overcome cancer and to thrive with being a patient in recovery. So it was a beautiful story. And then the way that she described why they designed the balloon and all the different symbolisms that are set up. There you go, screwdriver. That's cool. The kid's holding up the little screwdriver of the big screwdriver. So that must be a screwdriver company, I would imagine. If they make a special shaped screwdriver, that's not something that you would usually see, right? Like I don't know if you guys remember the Bugle Boy jeans. They had a balloon that they flew. It was just a pair of pants. The Bugle Boy special shaped balloon. So yeah, there's, with ballooning comes a lot of advertising, If you have a balloon, you could get sponsored by individuals to fly their banners. I'm going to get me an RC balloon. That way I could possibly even do that. We can do different events where we could fly the RC balloon and have their, like let's say in Old Town, you got something going on and you want to advertise for the Luminaria tours and the Christmas, when they go shopping and everything, and have their banner flying. Or maybe the downtown growers market, you know, and have their banner showing and things like that. So I'm trying not to get these interviews just because of copyright infringement and things like that, because we are watching a video that does not belong to me. So I'm just trying to like um just scan through. I do like that bear. I don't remember the name of the bear. Trying to remember it, but I do believe they're from Taiwan. But that's a cute balloon. I like that special shape one there. I'm such a crazy balloonatic. I get balloony over balloons. There's a Wile E. Coyote, the white one there, and on the other side it's a Roadrunner with Bullwinkle to its right, and then you can see the Taipei uh, bear balloon is right there in front of it. It looks like the Bullwinkle's looking over at the bear, like, whoa, whoa, Rocky, could you see this bear? Just kidding. Oh, look at that. Then they got the translucent balloon about to fly. Just kidding. Wouldn't that be cool? You turn one of those little balloons into an actual flying balloon somehow, heat it up with like a there's got to be a way using like a hot flashlight that heats up a piece of aluminum that acts like a burner that can heat up the inside. I don't know. I'm creating things right now. You guys can't steal my ideas. Just kidding. I love that balloon, the Northern Lights balloon. It's a printed balloon. They're coming out with some amazing designs on balloons now that they can print on them. I can't even imagine, like, how big is this printer? They have to print the pattern and then sew it perfectly for it to line up, because each panel is sewn together. So they print the panels out, and I'm saying, like, how big is the printer for each panel? Like, I know they're not printing a whole balloon. I don't think, like, no, there's no way. No one's airbrushing on the outside of it, you know. Although, could you do that? Could you inflate a balloon and then airbrush it? That would take some wild scaffolding. you would need one of those scissor lifts, you know, bring you up in the air. All right, so we're just gonna keep on scrolling through, and yeah, I'm pretty much. I mean, now that our balloon's up in the air, I'm pretty much done. I just wanted to recap a little bit and talk about, you know, that I'm gonna miss Balloon Fiesta, guys. You know, and this year, the 50-year anniversary, that was really something else. You know, I dedicated so much time going into Balloon Fiesta on making the 13 original balloons that took off in 1972 from the Coronado Center here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's the whole reason why we're celebrating 50 years here this year in 2022 at the Balloon Fiesta. And I dedicated so much time to making all 13 balloons. It took a lot of research and even trying to figure out, what did the 13 original balloons even look like? You know, this is 1972. Video and photos, it's not like today where we take thousands of pictures in one day on our phone and then just upload them into our computers. And then, you know, we've got archives and archives upon archives of different balloons and photos. But in 1972, that took a lot of research. It took a lot of time, a lot of energy and effort to even figure out what those balloons were that I was going to be replicating. And then once I got them done, then it was like, okay, now what? How do I get them to be seen? How do I show them off? You know, and so it took a lot of time, energy, and effort on meeting every individual that I was privileged to show and share my artwork with. You know, they thanked me for sharing it with them, but, you know, I have to thank every individual who allowed me to take the time to speak with them, to basically just show off what it was that I could do in glass, but with the balloon theme, and just to honor and to memorialize the 13 original balloons, all made in glass. And as an artist, as a local artist, it was just something I felt kind of compelled to do, being that I work on a balloon crew, that I'm such a balloonatic, I'm such a balloon enthusiast that I just love this sport, this hobby, this event, whatever you like to call it, this spectacle, this cascade of balloons as they take to the sky every year. It is a sight to see and it is amazing. And I love that I'm now officially a part of Balloon Fiesta every year, crewing with Rick Jones and Polar Dawn now. And before Polar Dawn, there was Missing Bear, his other balloon. And, you know, you never know. I may be able to crew with him in other places around the world eventually, where then I can work on the other balloons and crew on the other balloons that he owns as well. So, you know, I feel very honored and privileged to be a part of it now. And now as an artist, I can see what I can do to contribute to making more of what it already is. You know, just adding a little bit, a little touch of glass to this already amazing worldwide spectacle. Like, you know, my little touch in is just a spark to help keep that fire going of what Sid Cutter started and so many others have put into. You know, there's so much energy and effort that goes into this every year, and I just want to share a little bit, a little portion to you all, and just to honor the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. So I thank you all so much for sitting through this all. If you're still here with me, thank you for your time. Thank you for allowing me to share my story. Thank you for just listening. I apologize if I have offended anyone in any way for the things I said earlier, as far as the concerns of segregation and unity and unification and things like that. And also, you know, to Art Lloyd Jr., I hope that you never thought that I was trying to be rude or disrespectful in any way on approaching you in a simple way of just simply coming to you. But you know, I know you're a busy man. I know you have a lot of work to do, and that's why I just simply walked away in the mini balloons when you just kind of you did this with your hand and like kind of said like like not right now. You let me know, and that was a good hand cue. So thank you for that. I work in movies and television and film, and I've been a producer in film, and I've worked in front of camera, behind camera. I understand. So that's why I simply just allowed you to continue and walked away. So hopefully, though, we can meet up, Art Lloyd Jr. or Glenn Moyer. Although Art Lloyd Jr., I believe, is the one who I've been more in communication with, and I believe um, he may be more involved as far as being a part of the board of directors and things like that. I'm not 100% certain. Maybe Glenn Moyer is the man to talk to. So, but we'll see who it is. I'll actually be going to the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta office here very soon and showing them the glass balloon collection and finding out how we can get these balloons on tour, put them in a beautiful display, in a very safe display that we can then ship them very safely and make sure that they are tracked with a GPS tracker so that none of them ever go missing, and so that and they all stay together all as one set, as a one of a kind set, and eventually go around a world tour to all the different balloon museums, and eventually come back home here to the Albuquerque Balloon Museum. So with that being said, I'm going to sign off here and let y'all go. Thank you so much for coming along. This is Dan the Glassman, and you've been watching the Glassman's World. Welcome to my world of ballooning, guys. I'll bring you more live footage and coverage as often as I can. Hopefully I can get a GoPro next year and we can stop doing this amateur work on using cell phones. So I apologize for that. But I don't have the funding. If anyone would love to send me funding for a GoPro, I would happily accept a gift. It's almost Christmas time, and my birthday is in February. So, but with that being said, I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'm gonna start my day. I'm just gonna continue watching this event and balloon out because I couldn't be there on field today. And you guys take care. Love and blessings. We'll see you again next year from Polar Dawn Balloon Crew. Thank you guys so much for all your love, all your support, and we'll see you guys soon.